So at the start of this year, when I started doing this whole listening to music thing, I made an account on a website that's pretty much ubiquitously considered to be like the slightly less evil version of Rate Your Music, and that's Album of the Year. And initially, I kind of didn't really want to use it as a way to become like a music critic. I actually talked about this in my last video, the vinyl collection video. But over time, I have found myself like being more critical of things. And I've also found myself looking into a lot more review content, like Anthony Fantano, for example, who I actually am a pretty big fan of his content. The thing that I've learned over the past couple of months is that music review culture is weird. It's hard to really explain exactly what I mean by that, but I think most people can kind of understand. Personally, I see a upside and a downside to the way music is seen, like online in this kind of space. I think a major upside is it allows smaller, artists, people maybe not give as much thought, the chance to be seen by more people because there people are like, hey, this stuff's really cool, you should check it out. It also makes it harder for artists who are kind of, just in it for the money and don't really actually try, people like that. It makes it harder for them to continue going in the way they're going. And at least for me, it's provided an incentive to continue listening to new stuff and learning about new stuff, which is ultimately a good thing. But unfortunately, the major downside is obviously kind of just the fact that it exists, the fact that people are so critical of these things, because at the end of the day, music is always going to be subjective. It's wrong to say anything else, really. Like, the only objective thing about music is that everything is subjective. If you go through my profile on Album of the Year, you'll quickly realize that my opinions on the things that I've listened to are not all that different from most other people's opinions. And part of that is just because I kind of only listen to albums that are typically considered good. I don't typically dabble into stuff that people are like, oh, this is ass. But part of that is also because a lot of the time I will look at reviews and look at streaming numbers and things like that while or before I listen to the music. And that's not really a good thing. I've come to learn that. It's impeded my ability at times to really understand something or enjoy it as much as I maybe would. So that's why lately I have been trying to be a bit more open to, I mean, not doing that. Trying to listen more to just stuff that I want to listen to without going through and looking at everyone else's opinion, seeing people who are biased one way, not biased, whatever. Another downside to this whole music review culture thing is it can sometimes set expectations way too high for something. And if you're not particularly tuned in to something, or you're not on the wavelength required to really understand it, or if the genre is not your thing, you're not going to like something as much as everyone else does. And that can make you feel like you're wrong. That can make you feel bad about yourself, bad about your music taste. I think the biggest example of that for me originally was To Pimp a Butterfly. When I first listened to it, I didn't really get it. I wasn't in the headspace to get it. And my taste wasn't tuned in enough to the inner workings of hip hop and different styles within hip hop that I didn't really enjoy most of the album. What I should have done is I should have eased myself into it more and not taken a look at all these reviews beforehand and then listened to the album and then maybe looked at some breakdowns. But instead, I kind of just raw dogged it when my taste clearly wasn't ready for it. And as a result, I initially did not really like that album. Now, I've come back to it numerous times since then. My taste has broadened. My taste has, I've delved deeper into the world of hip hop and the world of subgenres within hip hop. I like the album a lot now. But you see my point. Another album that similar thing happened was Igor. Igor confused me at first. I was like, what is this? This is not rap. It was my first impression of Tyler the Creator, and it was back when the only albums I'd listened to in full were Kendrick Lamar albums. So needless to say, I did not get it. This is where I have to give a pretty big shout out to Tennis Tom, because not only did his Igor album breakdown helped me understand the album so much better. It made me enjoy the album much better as well. And the same thing happened with Damn. He also very recently came out with a video on Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, which I highly recommend checking out as well. The point I'm trying to make with all of this is, I guess, if anyone watching this, or if anyone, getting into this channel wants to get into music in the way that I do, don't waste your time looking through other people's reviews. Don't pretend anyone's opinion is gospel. Don't try to be overly critical about all the music that you listen to, because I did, and it kind of fucked up my perception of music for a little bit. I'm trying now to change that. I'm still writing short little reviews and giving ratings to albums, but I'm trying to be a lot less critical, and I'm trying to pay less attention to other people's reviews when writing my own. That's not to say I don't enjoy still, paying attention to other people's reviews. Like I said, I do enjoy Anthony Fantano's content quite a bit, especially considering he does lots of stuff that's not just reviews. And I do think that the hate for him is extremely overblown. I mean, extremely overblown, especially considering the majority of his opinions are not unpopular opinions. There's just a few outliers that everyone looks at. But I also do kind of understand where the hate comes from, because he definitely does contribute to this. But at the end of the day, I mean, he's one guy. He's one guy sharing his music opinions with the world, just like every other reviewer out there and every person who has an account on Album of the Year, just like me. And just as he says himself, you need to not take it so seriously. I also wanted to take this opportunity to talk about some of my future plans for this channel, because it's already been a few weeks since I last uploaded, and I'm sure a lot of you are wondering what are my actual plans. I do have plans, and I've been coming up with more plans in the past few days, few weeks. As of right now, my biggest plans involve just using this as a way to listen to new music and post my thoughts about it. Not really reviews, more like reactions, I guess. I'm not going to post a reaction to every album I listen to, but I've got some ideas for stuff I definitely want to post my reaction to, like Tyler the Creator's Wolf trilogy. I haven't listened to any of them, so I want to try listening to them back to back and see how that is. I want to listen to some new stuff. I want to listen to genres that I haven't really gotten into yet. And I have some ideas that are frankly weird, and you guys may be confused by some of the stuff I'm planning on doing, just saying. Like I said, my overall message to this video: don't concern yourself with album review culture that much. Engage with it if you enjoy it, but don't let it ruin your ability to enjoy music. The past 5 months or so have been me kind of learning that. If you'd like another person's perspective on this, I highly recommend also watching this video. I just kind of watched it because it's, very much in this topic. And he says a lot of the same things that I'm saying here. I do like the idea of posting my thoughts on music and talking about what I like and what I don't like. But I also don't want to be the reason that someone doesn't like something. So if I do that in the future, I guess all I'm asking for is just don't take it all that seriously. I am definitely not nowhere near the end all be all when it comes to stuff like this. But yeah, I am rambling, so I'm going to end the video here. I guess I should also say, please leave some comments and let me know what you think I should do with this music style content. I don't have a ton of ideas. I have quite a few, but the thing is, a lot of the ideas I have are going to take a long time. I've been pretty busy lately, so if you guys have any ideas for other stuff I can do with this channel, please let me know. I don't really plan on doing album reviews, full album reviews, but maybe I can do like some shorts every now and then talking about albums I like, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed me talking for however long this video ends up being, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.